For my parents' generation, it was where were you when Pearl Harbor was bombed? Or where were you when Franklin Roosevelt died? For me, it was, do you remember where you were when you heard that John F. Kennedy had been killed or that Martin Luther King had been shot? For younger generations, it will always be September the 11th, 2001. I can remember exactly where I was. I was driving up the driveway at the back of Gadsten State to head in to teach a class at 9 o'clock in the morning. The times, 8:46, 9:03, 9:37, 10:03. The number of people who were killed, 2,753. Of that number, 1,115, or 41%, were never identified at all. When I was a child, in the cemetery where my parents are now buried, I always remember there was a tombstone that said December the 7th, 1941, Pearl Harbor. And I remember my parents telling me that there was nobody there. And I thought, well, how odd. Why would there be a tombstone when there's nobody there? Somebody from my hometown's child had been killed, and they had nobody to bury. So they had put up a marker in their memory. That's what's so significant about the memorial that's in Washington now. For families who have no place to go other than there's at least a remembrance of them, and we're glad to say that we have something here in Gadsten, Alabama, to do the same thing. Of those 2,753 people who were killed, 403 of them were either firefighters or policemen. That's a pretty phenomenal number. This was the most surprising fact to me when I looked up all the information about this, is that when this attack happened in 2001, 20% of all people living in America knew somebody who was connected with what happened in either New York or Washington, D.C. or Pennsylvania. That's just phenomenal to me, that it had an impact on that many people. I knew somebody who worked at the World Trade Center who was one of those more than 1,000 people who no trace of was ever found. And every year when on TV sometimes they will read the names of all the people. I don't always sit there for the whole reading, but I'll always hang around till they're going to get to the S's, so I hear his name when they read it and think, if we still remember them, then they're never really gone. As we commemorate the people who died that day, we also salute the people who serve us every day. The paramedics, the firemen, the police, all those people who do things that could put them in harm's way so that we would be protected if need be. Think about these 403 people who didn't have to go where they went to that day. All these other people who were killed were just doing whatever their normal life thing was at that day. They were at work, they were kids in daycare, they were people who were shopping nearby. But those 403 people knew what they were going into, and knew that many of them knew, in all likelihood, they might not come back out again. So that's what makes it be even more significant. As we remember those who bravely responded and gave their lives to save others, may we draw strength from their selfless sacrifice.